Just tell me when.
Welcome to GCC Gaming Reviews. I want to start off talking about Tomb Raider. This game's amazing, graphic-wise, gameplay-wise, and the engine is just amazing. I hope that they continue the series, especially with an ending like this. If you ever beat the game, which I hope you do after this review, you should go out and buy it now. Multiplayer, you might get burned out slowly, like I did. Made it to level 10 and I was completely listless. Screw this. I also want to say another thing. That ass is amazing in this game. Graphic-wise, it's just good. It's just good. The story revolves around archaeologists going through the Dragon's Triangle, which is located in Japan, if I'm correct. And what happens there is that a giant wave comes and hits the ship, and it splits in half. And when Laura wakes up, she's not wrapped, but she gets punched in the face first, and then she ends up wrapped in toilet paper. I'm wrapping something they wrap mummies with. She gets out of that predicament. Later on in the game, when you're acquiring weapons throughout the game, that's probably one of the funnest parts about this game, acquiring weapons and just getting that new weapon and using it. I like what they did with the game. You have to use every single weapon, they make the weapons equally. Like, you just don't use the bow, you use the assault rifle, the pistol, or the shotgun. But I felt myself using the bow and the pistol more than I felt myself using the assault rifle or the shotgun. Another thing I would like to... Another thing I would like to talk about is just, like, how Laura's reaction is. Like, I remember there were scenes where this giant building was falling over, and there was smoke and fire everywhere, and she was coughing, which I liked the simulation like that. Another default I felt like was she couldn't swim. Like, I swear to God, I would jump into water and I would die. Like, I know 30 feet kills you, but that was not 30 feet, that was 15 feet, and she would die. Just finding relics and finding GPS trackers and finding things like that was also made the game challenging and fun, especially to come back from when you're done with the game. I would recommend doing it more than once. Doing the story more than once, because it just fits in together, and it's also just a fun experience to do. To me, it was. I went from playing on normal to the hardest difficulty possible, and I got my ass raped a little bit there. Multiplayer wise, I think my favorite mode was Rescue. Team Deathmatch, you know, it's okay, and then I have a few other modes I care less about. Rescue is probably my favorite because it was just, you got an objective, and I like objective game modes like this. I made it to level 10 before I got burned out of it, because it was just too simple. Too simple, as in you have lower HP than Laura does in the game. Another fault about this game would be how some of the enemies are just overpowered. I remember towards the end they would send out 3 or 2 people with shields, and how the hell am I supposed to do that with just a gun? Gun and a bow, how am I supposed to do that? It's very challenging. I love the puzzles in this game. I also love how they did like a little detective mode like they did in Arkham City. I loved how they did that with Survival Instincts. It was really well played. Like, the terrain is amazing. Like, especially when you're hunting animals. Hunting animals is one of my favorite things, or just going against a pack of wolves or anything. Especially the looting process, how you just press X and, you know, everything's there. It's worth $60. This game is fun to get on, dick. This game is fun. It's worth $60. I would recommend it to anyone. I guess you could say my opinion on this game from a 1 to 10 would be an 8.5. Multiplayer it's kind of a default, but don't let that stop you from playing single player. Single player is what makes the game the best. Makes the game the best Tomb Raider ever. Square Enix, maybe Square Enix best game and best title this year since Devil May Cry. Thank you for watching, and come again.